everybody. Welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Sinead DeFries, and this is The Daily Show, where we bring you the latest news from the world of movies, plus some insight into what it all means. Joining us, as always, is your AMC Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Well, greetings and salutations, most noble and excellent AMC viewers. Welcome to AMC Movie Talk, the best time movie-related show, coming to you live from right here at the Stream.tv studios, and I'm fresh off of dropping Cam Newton from my fantasy team.
Also here is AMC's Mark Ellis.
I'm just thrilled to be joined by the two greatest comedian sound effects artists of our generation.
And AMC's Christian Harloff.
I'm not supposed to be here!
And writer-director John Schnepp.
Just walk away. Leave the oil. Just walk away and I will let you live.
He says that to me every morning. I still don't know what it means. All right, what's up?
As many of you know, Sony was recently the target of a significant cyber hack. One of the results was that massive amounts of emails were leaked online and revealed several behind-the-scenes dramas with the company. One of the things revealed was that Marvel and Sony at one point were having discussions about Marvel producing a new trilogy of Spider-Man films and wanted Spider-Man in their upcoming Civil War movie. Those talks, however, broke down over issues of creative control and distribution. The emails also revealed that Sony began plans for an animated comedy film that would involve Spider-Man and be produced by Lego Movies' Chris Miller and Phil Lord. John, thoughts on all this craziness?
Well, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But there's nothing surprising here. Have any of us ever doubted that Marvel and Sony talk about Spider-Man? Have any of us ever doubted that, all other things being equal, Marvel would like to get Spider-Man back? Absolutely. But one of the things that I've always said is that, look, what is always going to ever hold up any sort of, merger of the universe, stuff like that, is the issue of control. From the beginning, I've said that. You can't get, if you try to put Wolverine into a Marvel movie, you're going to get Fox and them arguing over every single line. Which character looks a little better here? Who does this? Because ultimately, it's about who's in control. And I'm not surprised when you read through these emails, they see ultimately what probably broke down all these conversations was the amount of control, who gets distribution, who gets to control what the characters do and all that kind of stuff. And we've always said, too, that Marvel is in a position, they're in the delightful position that they don't even need Spider-Man. They don't need them. They're collecting money hand over fist with Guardians of the freaking Galaxy. They don't need Spider-Man, and they know it. They'd like to have him, though, especially for Civil War. That would have been great on many levels. But the game changed a few months ago when we started hearing about all this trouble Sony was in. Not Spider-Man, but Sony was in. And that kind of changed the dynamics to the point that when Marvel had their big announcement that the three of us were at, I tweeted the night before, I think Kevin Feige is going to come on stage and announce Spider-Man is back in the fold. And I'm sitting there in the audience right up until they said, "Good night, everybody, get out of the building." I was still expecting to see Andrew Garfield walk on stage. I really was. But that didn't happen. No surprises there. But this whole notion of that they might be looking at doing an animated comedy by Lord and Miller for Spider-Man, and apparently Sony is having this giant Spidey summit in January where they're getting all their producers and creative minds together just to figure out what on earth they're doing at their Spider-Man universe, because they've been going back and forth, left and right, and changing directions 1,000 times in the last few months that they don't even know where they're going with it right now. A lot is going to come out from this, so it's very, very interesting. But at the end of the day, not a lot surprising. Christian, you read this stuff. What did you think?
Well, to quote Handyman, I think I'm in trouble. Those guys are, you talk about when the game changed, it really changed yesterday. Yeah. Because there's so much out there now. So much, all the rumors that we all knew were true, they are true. They're so desperate. I heard a rumor that they're trying to put 22 Jump Street with Men in Black at one point. They're so desperate to try to do something because, which we'll talk about a little bit, everything that they've had, there's a couple of projects they have that are working, but everything else isn't. So Spider-Man is their only saving grace, and Schnepp loved Spider-Man 2, but everyone else didn't really love it. A lot of people didn't like that movie, didn't do what they wanted it to do. This was our big property. So, of course, there's these negotiations with Marvel. Marvel absolutely wants him back. Like you said, they don't need him. But they know. They're just like, yeah, okay, make another one. Sure, yeah, make another one. And then the fans go, we want Spidey back in the Marvel universe. All the fans want him back. Sony has to make the best Spider-Man movie of all time for the next one, or the fans are going to start rioting. They're going to want to just put him back to where he was. We don't want to see your crap anymore. That's the thing. If you don't want him in Sony, don't spend a single dollar. That's it. You cannot make those movies money. If you want them to go back to Marvel, they need to lose their rights.
Schnepp?
Yeah, I mean, there was a really interesting article that then got pulled yesterday. I don't know, did you see it where it was Sony talking to Sam Raimi to come back?
Oh, yeah.
And then they like pulled it. So I think they're gonna release that like in a couple days, but
To
they're
produce,
actually, to produce and or direct.
Really?
Yeah, to like come back into the fold and take creative control back over Spider-Man. I mean, it's a giant mess. It really is kind of an embarrassing thing. We joked and conjectured quite a bit about a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, but to find out that we were completely right is really horrible in a certain way, because I was hoping, they got some stuff figured out. You know, yeah, they're going to do Sinister Six. They're not just blindly chucking stuff like Aunt May into the, you know what I mean? It's like, but it's all true. It's all horribly true. Right. I mean, that's the horrible part of it. So.
Yeah, that was my take on it, was that I was happy that Schnepp and I's Aunt May script did not get leaked and all these things. I mean, that picture says it all. I mean, look at how sad those guys look. Yeah. Look at how boring that looks. I feel bad in a sense because none of this stuff should ever get out, you know? Like, right. I don't think that this is right that happened, but now that you look at all these things, I think that Sony was making the right plays when they were doing anything they could with Spider-Man, because they know that's really the only hot property they have. The Spider-Man cartoon to me sounded interesting, and again, I don't know how far down the road all these projects were when you talk about if they're combining 22 Jump Street with Men in Black and all that stuff. I actually like that there's creative people that are having meetings and they're just throwing anything against the wall. That's how you come up with great art sometimes. You just throw every idea you have and see what sticks. So I don't know how far down the road these went, but it's clear that Spider-Man was the hot prom queen, and now it's 10 years later and she's at the reunion with like 3 kids, chain smoking, and nobody really wants her anymore, or at least needs her like they did 10 years ago.
And I don't want us to jump too much. I mean, like, Sony does have some good things going on. I mean, they've got the Bond franchise going, which everybody's very excited about. They're doing some good things. But yeah, this Spider-Man thing has been a bit of a debacle. Now, I'm one of these guys that as much as I love Marvel, I do not want Spider-Man to go back to Marvel. I just don't. I think the track record, they're 4-2. I feel like with the Spider-Man franchise, which is a good record, and I just know when you look at Marvel's lineup, if Spider-Man goes to Marvel, we're going to get one Spider-Man film every 5 years, and that's just not. I just don't want that. So for me, I would like to see them in a perfect world. I want to see Spider-Man stay at Sony, but I want to see Sony do it right. And if Spider-Man is being done right, fans shouldn't care which studio is doing it. I mean, really, if Spider-Man's being done right, like Spider-Man 1. Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man, if Sony is making good Spider-Man movies, nobody should care which studio logo comes up at the front.
Do you think you can do Spider-Man right in this franchise, though, with Andrew Garfield still as Spider-Man, or do you think that, because if you reboot it again, that's not good news. Like, do you think that they can make Spider-Man 3 and then have that be a great film, or do you think they're already too far down that path?
That is the million-dollar question. I believe you can with Andrew Garfield, but even though I love the job that Mark Webb did on the first Amazing Spider-Man, I agree with Schnepp in this, in that I think the second one showed, hey, Mark Webb did his thing with the first one. You got to move off Mark Webb at this point and let him go on to other things. What do you think?
Oh, I used to feel that way, but especially after these leaks are happening and all the things that we heard before, James Horner just came out and said how it was a mess at Sony, and Sony kept the execs. I was under the same philosophy as you, is let's move on from Mark Webb, but Schnepp said last time, Webb might have had the right direction and the right vision. It was them sticking their hands in it and what it looks like, everyone reporting on it. It's Sony going, no, we need you to do this and this. And it's like, stay away. You're obviously making the wrong choices. Whoever are the higher ups there, whether it's Amy Pascal or whoever it is, they're making the wrong choices with that franchise. And what I was going to say, I don't necessarily know if what I think the fans would care about, even if they made the greatest movies, the fans are still going to say, this is cool, but I'd really like to see him interact with Tony Stark. I'd really like to see him. I mean, I think that's always going to be there.
It's so tempting just to have that possibility out there that even if you don't think that's ideal, it'd be really cool.
Especially if they make a great one. Because now if they make a great one and get a new Spider-Man, then they're really going to want to see him interact with whoever it is. I mean, eventually they're going to want to see X-Men go back there too, but Fox, as of right now, is doing that franchise right. That's why there's no questions about Fox or the X-Men. How come X-Men doesn't go back to Marvel? Because they're doing it right.
You know, I don't know the intimate workings of Sony right now. I think I've maybe met Amy Pascal once. I don't know, but I'm speculating here. Sitting back and just looking at this situation, I feel with this whole Spider-Man mess, and you read about all the things that are going on and things being said about Horner, all that kind of stuff, it feels like there's a decided lack of focused leadership. it sounds like they need a Kevin Feige, not in the sense that everybody thinks of a Kevin Feige as the guy who loves comic books and can make it all. No. It sounds like they need somebody who is this. I am the buck stops here.
Even
person.
Kevin Tsujihara.
Kevin Tsujihara maybe needs like that because that's what he's doing to Warner Brothers. Kevin Tsujihara stepped up and said, "Okay, you know what? Forget this mess. We're going to bring order. It's going to be this focus. It's going to be this direction." And I think whether it's Amy Pascal or somebody else at Sony needs to reel in this whole Spider-Man thing and say, "You know what? No direction is going to get us nowhere. We need a direction, and let's just go. Let's get on it, and let's move." And
One Direction. All of them
Yes,
can be Spider-Man.
one direction.
They're
Not
the
20.
villains. They're the villains in the next
All
movie.
right, let's move on to item number 2.
Probably the biggest drama to come out of these leaked Sony emails was regarding the planned upcoming Steve Jobs biopic. Emails exchanged between Sony Pictures co-chairman Amy Pascal and Academy Award-winning producer Scott Rudin show a vicious fight revolving around Jobs, Angelina Jolie, Cleopatra, and David Fincher that ultimately resulted in Jobs being taken from Sony over to Universal. Christian, please run us through what went down.
What I can tell you is that this email exchange was better than anything that happened in the final season of Dexter. There was so much drama and so much. I mean, I read through this thing just like, wow, I couldn't believe it. I felt a little dirty reading it because they were private emails that should have never gotten out. And whether you know or not know, I worked at Warner Brothers for about 3 years. I saw a lot of emails, maybe not to this extent, but emails that took, it gets fired up sometimes when you're working on projects with this kind of money. But when you see what happens, and we've been talking about this on this show, as far as what happened with Jobs, what happened? Like you have the great book by Oscar Isaacson. What happened there? Like and a great script, Sorkin, and then Fincher is rumored. What happens with Fincher? So here's what I don't even say supposedly. This is what happened. Fincher, they were going to have him on board, and it looked like it was going to. And Scott Rudin had wrote to Amy Pascal that they're supposed to get on a phone call with Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie was upset that they were talking to David Fincher about doing Jobs.
And back it up 1 second. So there are 2 projects that are at the center of this. There's the Angelina Jolie Cleopatra project and the Jobs Patrick, but only one director.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Right.
So Angelina Jolie was upset because she wanted Fincher to direct Cleopatra. Then she heard these rumors that he's going to go on to Jobs. So Rudin's like, I'm not going to deal with her ego. This is what we want to do. This is the movie. That script is not done yet. That script is not finished. Being Cleopatra. I've worked with David Fincher before. I have worked with him on Social Network. He wants to do it. This is what he's good for. This is what he's ready to do. We could have talked to her months ago, but she was off directed a movie, and it got back and forth. And it looked like in his email chains that Amy Pascal was really trying to cater towards Angelina Jolie, but Rudin, who is notoriously can get you fired up and a back and forth. I don't know their relationship. I know they worked together for a very long time, but in this, it just seemed like it was Angelina Jolie that was holding it back because of what she wanted to do as far as the project that she wanted to work on. She wanted Fincher there. And then there was the writer of Cleopatra that was upset because then he heard Fincher was going to Jobs. And then as it just kind of untangled, this went through months. It's this first email on this chain is from February. Then we get into about, a couple months later where it looks like Fincher's going to leave and is just upset with the whole way this thing's being run. And then there was that. I remember when the article came out that Adam Driver was cast in Star Wars, and then next to it was Fincher in Jobs, but it looked like he was leaving. And Amy Pascal just wrote to Fincher, WTF or WTH, whatever it was, and he wrote back, "Yeah, I don't think Adam Driver's ready for the part either." And he was talking about, she was talking about him leaving Jobs, and he just, this is a mess. And Rudin warned her in that email chain, this is what's going to happen. Then it keeps going on. It keeps happening more and more and more. Then they look like they got Danny Boyle. Then certain agents reached out to talk to Leonardo DiCaprio to get Leonardo DiCaprio involved. That's how that all went down.
They were begging Leonardo
him. There was love letters from very higher ups at different agencies. Then Ari Emanuel, who was based off the character in Entourage, the head of his agency, he writes talking to Amy that it was just a mess. They were trying to get financing and money and it just looked inside of this email chain, from what we read in this email chain. Again, I was on phone calls, I was in meetings. This chain looks like Sony was scrambling to appease an actress, but couldn't hold on and making bad deals because it looked like everyone inside of this email chain, whether it be Rudin or Ari Emanuel, they were saying Sony is not handling this correctly throughout these chains. And I'm not advocating, I don't know Rudin. Some people say he's a tyrant. In these emails, in these particular emails, even though they were heated, I was feeling for Rudin in a business sense, saying, we need to get this done. We need to the project that is done, the script that we know is right. Basically, we were saying at the table that this is Academy Award-winning Sorkin. We have him. Fincher wants to do it. Don't worry about Angelina Jolie right now. Let's figure it out later with her. I know she's going to be upset, but this is all me and putting together the drama.
We have both of these properties. There are properties.
Right.
Cleopatra and Jobs.
We'll do what we want to do with them. Why are we even talking about it?
Exactly.
That's
And the climax of this thing, the climax is Rudin saying, we're taking it to Universal. And she's like, why are you torturing me? He's like, look, we tried to do this. He's like, but don't worry. I put together a little package for you over there. They'll take care of you, but we're gone. It's done. And then Amy Pascal writes back to the higher-ups of Sony, get rid of him. And Scott Rudin's been at Sony for a very long time.
30 years they've had a relationship.
Time. So this thing, boom! It was crazy. If you have not read it, take a sponge with you, but it's quality entertainment, but it's nuts.
Isn't it great that, Cleopatra's been dead for 3,000 years, and she's still causing a ruckus with this stuff today. I mean, that was my takeaway from it, is that it looks like Angelina Jolie and her position was in question between how high up she is with Pascal versus with Rudin. And I mean, I do feel bad that these things got out, because I think this goes on at every studio. Emails like this. I don't think that these people are worse people than anybody else that works in Hollywood. This is always what my vision of Hollywood was anyway, so that's not surprising, but it is shocking to see how on different pages that Pascal and Rudin became after this all came out.
Well, there were two very different philosophies that came out. And what stood out to me most about this, and I think if you find these emails online, just look up Scott Rudin, Amy Pascal emails, and it'll probably take you to the Defamer, the Gawker article. What really comes out is that a lot of people, I think, film fans, lose sight that Hollywood is, the perception is Hollywood is just a machine, right? But we forget that behind the machine are very human people with very human emotions and very human reactions, making very human decisions. And as you're reading through the emails between these two Hollywood powerhouses, Scott Rudin as a producer and Amy Pascal as the co-chairman of Sony, you realize this is like being dealt with on an incredibly human level.
Right.
People who have had a relationship for years yelling and screaming at each other. Rudin is like calling Angelina Jolie all these types of names. She's a half talent, hack, this, that, and the other thing.
Just a celebrity. It reminded me of Birdman.
Exactly.
Just a celebrity.
And what really stood out then is that two opposing philosophies emerged. The Scott Rudin philosophy, which was, we are the ones in charge. This is our property. This is our movie. Let's do it the way we want. And then what was seemingly, it's hard to really know just from reading a couple of emails, but the seemingly position that Amy Pascal was taking, which was Angelina Jolie's a big star. We have to, placate the big star. She wants a meeting, let's do a meeting. And Scott was like, I'm not even going to meet with her and waste my time on it and blah, blah, blah. And all this comes out. Now, you were pointing out that Ari in Entourage is actually modeled after the one by Ari, right?
Yeah.
Well, for a long time, people have been saying that Scott Rudin was actually the basis for another Hollywood character that we've seen. So we got that picture. Can we bring that picture up? Right? Yeah. And honestly, that Les Grossman, I've read for a long time that Les Grossman was actually modeled after producer Scott Rudin. And I never met Scott, so I didn't know. Well, but then when you're reading these emails, all I hear in my head is Les Grossman's voice yelling and swearing that. But you know what's funny? I so agree with you. When I was reading through all these emails, at the beginning, it's like, this Scott Rudin's a dick.
Right.
By the end of the emails, you're realizing, you know what? He might be coming across as a dick, but that doesn't mean he's not right.
Absolutely.
And by the end of the emails, I was like, okay, do I like how he's handling it?
Yeah.
Maybe not. But at the end of the day, I actually think he's right.
He's an Oscar-winning producer for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, he is for a reason. And he, like you said, you may have conducted those emails poorly. You might be bullying a bit, but your overall point in what you were saying, whether or not they could have been constructed in a different way, I felt was on the money.
Right. But at the end of the day now, Sony has lost the Jobs project.
Yeah.
Amy Pascal was furious and started burning every bridge she had with the guy, which at the same time, I don't blame her for that too. If you feel you've been betrayed, whatever, sure. But it's just a total mess that probably for both Rudin and Pascal could have been averted if they both just handled things a little bit differently in February. Yeah. Then it wouldn't have led. Anyway, Shep, you read all this stuff. Like, what was your reaction to it?
Well, now that you mentioned Les Grossman, Tom Cruise should do a movie called Hacked, Les Grossman Files, and just use all this. This is perfect material.
Angelina Jolie should play Amy Pascal.
That could be amazing. Someone write this. Horrible. It's horrible to read this kind of stuff. Inter-office emails. at studios are meant to be private. And yeah, there's tons of horrible emails that go around, and like people are crushed here and there.
Just
people
between our exchanges.
Yeah, our horrible exchanges. Somebody try to hack the AMC account, see what's up. You just see like friendly talking about it. Anyway, yeah, it was horrible, but yeah, I agree. I mean, you can see Scott Rudin is definitely a hardened producer. He gets things done. He has a very a certain way of talking, which could seem disrespectful, especially when you read it in an email. Emails are always the hardest thing when the minute you start name calling or threatening. Right. Are you threatening me? It's not necessarily threatening. It's like, look, I'm just telling you what's up. You could take that as a threat, or I'm just trying to, then it escalates. So that's what we watched. We watched it escalate over the series of months, and just things not happening, things not moving forward, and two people frustrated because they're trying to appease different people. So it's very telling as to why Sony is slowly falling apart. I don't know who's dismantling it with these emails. I don't know if it's Korea or not. I don't think so. It seems a little too smart for those guys. So
I have a question. Do you think that anyone's going to lose jobs over these? Not Steve Jobs. The actual jobs.
I don't think so. I don't think Amy. I think Amy Pascal is incredibly liked and respected at Sony. I don't think she's going anywhere. And so no, I don't think so. All right, let's move on to the next topic.
The nominees for the 21st Annual Screen Actors Guild, or SAG Awards, have been announced. Here are your nominees in the 5 major film categories. For Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Leading Role, Steve Carell in Foxcatcher, Benedict Cumberbatch in The Imitation Game, Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler, Michael Keaton in Birdman, and Eddie Redmayne in The Theory of Everything. For Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Leading Role, Jennifer Aniston in Cake, Felicity Jones in The Theory of Everything, Julianne Moore in Still Alice, Rosamund Pike in Gone Girl, and Reese Witherspoon in Wild. Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role, Robert Duvall in The Judge, Ethan Hawke in Boyhood, Edward Norton in Birdman, Mark Ruffalo in Foxcatcher, and J.K. Simmons in Whiplash. For Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Supporting Role, Patricia Arquette in Boyhood, Keira Knightley in The Imitation Game, Emma Stone in Birdman, Meryl Streep in Into the Woods, and Naomi Watts in St. Vincent. Outstanding Performance by the Cast in a Motion Picture, Birdman, Boyhood, The Grand Budapest Hotel, The Imitation Game, and The Theory of Everything. Mark, your thoughts on the nominee list?
My thoughts on the nominee list is that is whiter than the new Exodus movie. My God, there's not a lot of variety in there. However,
you've been wanting to use that all night.
I was sitting on that line a little bit too, and then I would have done it with the Cleopatra thing too. I think that the most shocking thing to me was actually seeing Robert Duvall get nominated for The Judge. Didn't that feel kind of like here you go, Bob? Thanks for showing up.
The movie
he was really good. The movie wasn't great, but he was good in it. I'm not sure that it garnered an award level performance, but the best male actor, I thought, was a really strong category. The female, I think it leaves a little bit more room for debate. And the ensemble cast, I love seeing Boyhood in there because I thought that they all deserved it. And Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette both getting nominated in supporting roles. I thought they earned those nominations.
Yeah.
What really stands out to me was it highlights really how incredible, even though we didn't look like it halfway through the year, how incredibly packed that Best Leading Actor category was. Because, look, these are all incredibly gifted guys. Steve Carell, Benedict Cumberbatch, I'm glad Jake Gyllenhaal's name was in there. We talked about that yesterday. Michael Keaton, Edward Redmayne, but no Tom Hardy from Locke. And that's the best performance I think, even more than Bronson.
One-man show.
Yeah. Ray Fiennes in Grand Budapest Hotel, not there. Tommy Lee Jones from The Homesman, not there. Timothy Spall, who played Wormtail in the Harry Potter things, he played the lead in Mr. Turner. He won Best Actor at Cannes, not nominated for Best Actor here. A lot of people talking Channing Tatum for Foxcatcher. Not really surprised he's not there, but that's another one. But these are all names left out on the outside looking in. Going back down through the performances, Tom Wilkinson from Selma could have been nominated, I suppose, for Best Supporting Actor. I thought Carrie Coon should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actress for her portrayal as Ben Affleck's sister in Gone Girl. I thought she was outstanding. Yeah. And I wasn't that big of a fan of The Judge. I completely agree with the nomination.
Really?
I thought Duvall was the absolute shining pearl of that movie. I thought his performance was incredible. But that's just me. Anyway, so what did you think?
I also agree with Duvall. I didn't love The Judge, but I thought that he really went after it, and especially that shower scene in The Judge.
Oh, that was so great.
Yeah, so gross.
That was the best. It was the best scene of the movie.
But it was, and he really connected. So that one for me, David. I always pronounce his name wrong. Oyol.
Oyel.
He plays Martin Luther King. So from what they're saying is that I haven't seen the movie yet, but they're saying that he knocks it out of the park as well. And I think that's because a lot of people haven't seen that movie yet. I know the screenings are just happening now. But for me, the one I think that nailed it the most was Best Supporting Actor. I think every single person in there, with Ruffalo, and I just saw.
It was nice seeing Ruffalo get it.
It was, and I just saw Boyhood last night. I think that Ethan Hawke should definitely have been nominated, and as well as Patricia Arquette in supporting. So it is an absolute. I think SAG got it right for the most part.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree with all of all of SAG's nominees. I'm glad that Boyhood got in there because that's a smaller film. That
I
didn't
think you
get
get to see it at the Oscars a lot too.
Yeah, I agree. Seeing Patricia Arquette and Ethan Hawke. But I think Birdman's going to sweep it. That's how it feels to me. I mean, Gone Girl is the one that I think will take it for the.
You think
Best
J.K.
Actress.
Simmons will lose to Ed Norton?
Yes, I do.
Really?
No, I think J.K. Simmons has it in the bag. I really do.
I think Simmons has it as well, but I also, you know who I'm surprised is actually in it? Streep. Streep, who you never say that, but for Into the Woods, I think there's other. I have to think about which ones they were, but I think Streep. I just feel like now at this point, Streep's in a movie. Have you seen it? Now it doesn't matter. Put her in there.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen it, so for all we know, we're all going to come out of this theater going, "Holy crap!"
I saw it.
Well, you did. Okay, I haven't.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
She's
good, but
very good in the movie.
But I don't think
it's
not nomination.
It's not an Oscar.
No,
Come on,
no.
we know she's
not
famous.
Oscar, SAG,
yeah,
SAG,
we know she's a great actress. Come on.
All right, folks. So listen, we've gone way over time already, but we have come to that part of the show for buy or sell. We're going to go through this really quick now. In front of her, Sinead's got a couple of other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down, and then those of us at the table are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Sinead, what do we got?
The first official trailer for the upcoming Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie, San Andreas, has hit the web. The film also stars Alexandria Daddario and Paul Giamatti and hits AMC theaters on May 29th. Schnepp, buy or sell the trailer to San Andreas?
I'm going to buy it. I mean, I live in California. Obviously, I do not want this San Andreas fault line to crack and destroy all of our lovely homes and our lifestyle. But if we could just watch it in a movie and it never happens, I'm all for it. Destroy Los Angeles.
I buy it. It was from the writers of The Conjuring, by the way, too. And it was the scariest I've felt of any horror trailer. A lot better than Pyramid. So yeah, it looks terrifying to me. It looks like fun. A good disaster film. Bye.
For me, it's a big buy. I even forgot Paul Giamatti was in the movie until the trailer. Because and ever since True Detective, I've gained a new appreciation for Daddario. So. Go San Andreas, big buy for me.
It's a buy for me because every time you see a disaster movie, they never quite live up to what the trailer was going to be. Like, remember how excited we were to see Volcano? Like, oh man! But this one looks awesome, and as a huge Grand Theft Auto fan, let's do this, San Andreas.
That's right.
All right, what's next?
According to reports, the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 is going to be seeing a few more mutated characters in Bebop and Rocksteady. The reports also claim that TMNT favorite Casey Jones will be fit into the new film as well. John, buy or sell the addition of Bebop and Rocksteady to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2?
Big sell, but with a big asterisk beside it, that the reason it's a big sell for me is because I don't like the childish Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm more of a fan of the old school black and whites. But that being said, I actually liked the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Didn't love it, but I liked it. So I gotta sell it on principle, but I would have sold the last one too, and I ended up liking it. So take that for what it's worth, Mark.
I am so buying Bebop and Rocksteady in the new Ninja Turtles. I grew up with that cartoon, and I love those characters, and I think they're going to fit very well into this universe. Plus the addition of Casey Jones. Now let me this casting is going to be crucial to the future of this franchise. You could even dust off Elias Koteas and bring him back as the original Casey Jones. Maybe that's the dad of Casey Jones. But Casey Jones, I'm telling you, man, that casting is going to be huge, and it's going to be paramount to the success of the future of this franchise.
Wait, in a film franchise,
Yes.
that casts Megan Fox as your human lead.
Who I like
you
as the
think
human lead.
any of these roles are essential?
Yes.
Okay.
I agree with Megan Fox hiding behind desks. Best performance of her career.
Better than Streeping into the woods.
It's true. I don't care about. That's true. She's actually nominated.
Megan
for
Fox should have been nominated.
I don't care about these two idiots, but I'll buy it because of Casey Jones. Because I want to see Casey Jones. He was my favorite character, and I was bummed that he wasn't in the last movie. I want to see who they cast for him. They're just going to be grunting and probably doing fart jokes.
I know,
and
that's
stuff,
awesome.
No, I'm all right. I'm all right not having them. But
I'm gonna buy it just because I, as well as you, I liked the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I thought I was like, I'm just gonna see it because I feel like seeing a movie that's gonna suck. That's really my attitude. And then I'm pleasantly surprised. I actually liked it. And these characters are weirdos. I have nothing. I'm like I've told you guys before. I'm not a Teenage Mutant Ninja fan, except for the super old ones, like the old black and white.
The original black and white.
Yeah. So I don't even know who these characters are. They look cool though, so that's why I'm buying it.
They're awesome, Schnepp. They're awesome.
All right, folks, it's coming to that part of the show for Mailbag. If you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. We won't have any time to get to live questions at the end of the show because we were already running over time. But let's get into the mailbag. So, Sinead, what do we got?
Patrick Hogue writes, what happened to the Natalie Portman film Jane Got a Gun? I remember hearing all the behind-the-scenes drama about the director not showing up to set and actors pulling out. I know the film is set to come out next year and has Gavin O'Connor at the helm and talent such as Portman and Joel Edgerton. Do you know if the production is still rocky or is it now complete? And do you think the final film will rise above these setbacks or fall victim to them?
Okay, so number one, Jane Got a Gun is finished. It is coming out, I believe it's got a release date for September 4th. So that's coming out later in 2015. It's coming. But the drama behind this movie rivals or exceeds that of Jobs.
Really?
I mean, it starts off, you got Natalie Portman doing it, so she's like your main character. But then you had Michael Fassbender as the hero, Joel Edgerton as the villain. Michael Fassbender ditches. Joel Edgerton moves from villain over to the hero role, and then they bring in Jude Law, I believe, to play the villain. Then Jude Law leaves, and he's out of the film now. Then they show up to start shooting. The director leaves on the day of shooting. They get in Bradley Cooper to replace the Jude Law character who had now departed. Then Bradley Cooper leaves. They get in Gavin O'Connor, who directed Joel Edgerton in Warrior. And they worked really well together. So they had that in. And then they eventually got in Ewan McGregor to replace the now departed Bradley Cooper, who replaced the departed Jude Law, who replaced the departed Michael Fassbender. It was a mess. Yeah. But it's done now. And actually, when you read an interview with Edgerton, he says the end result is great. He said he's really proud of the film. He loves what they're doing, what they did with it. But this is one of those things where, yeah, man, this had so much drama, but it is still coming out. Have you guys heard any new stuff about it or anything else?
I thought it was coming out in February.
It got pushed again. It got pushed again, which is what concerned me, is that because I knew it got pushed originally. It was supposed to come out this year, and if it gets pushed once, okay. If it gets pushed twice for that long, that scares me. Can't be his description of that where you were like Tim Curry at the end of Clue, just telling everybody what happened. Right. That was an epic job, by the way. I start to lose faith in a movie like this when you have that many changes.
Normally I do, but here's why I don't this time. It's because of Gavin O'Connor. Because normally I agree with all you guys, and had he been on since the beginning and all the way through, but he's one of my favorites right now. Miracle was great. Warrior, I think, is criminally underrated. And Gavin O'Connor really goes with human emotions, and he's an actor's director. So if he got the right team together, I have a lot of faith. This was actually one of my most anticipated last year.
This year.
This year. So I think it's going to turn out okay, and I think because of Gavin O'Connor and how respected he is amongst actors and studios.
Yeah, and I'll add Natalie Portman. I think she's producing, and she was actually the glue that kept everything together. Otherwise, the film would have fallen
really
apart.
Not great glue.
Well, I'm just saying, the glue that was,
like that Elmer's glue.
Eventually,
peel off your hand.
This thing is coming out. So, well, I'm looking forward to seeing it too. I love westerns, so I'm hoping it's great, and I hope the glue stuck. It's like we'll find out when 2048.
Yeah.
When's it coming out?
September.
Right. This September.
This coming September.
As of now, this September.
As of now, until it's bumped again.
Don't make the Slurpee cups just yet.
It comes out right after Infinity Gauntlet 2.
All right, what's next?
Andrew Fitzwater writes, hey, AMC Movie Talk, love your show and what you do. I read somewhere that Paramount says that Transformers 4 should get a Best Picture nomination. What are your thoughts, and do you agree?
No, okay, this is one of those things where people take a fact that comes out and then turn it into something it's not. There are lots and lots and lots of films create a for-your consideration campaign. And that doesn't mean they actually believe anything, any of the categories they would even fit into deserve to win. Obviously, Transformers is going to make a play for a Best Visual Effects nomination, sure. So they have a campaign, and they list about 20 different categories in their for-your consideration, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't, look, trust me, nobody at Paramount Pictures thinks Transformers is anywhere in the conversation of the best movie of the year. It is the Razzie winner for this year. It will win the Razzie for Worst Picture of the Year. Nobody there believes it, but they're putting together the for your consideration. They put in everything out there. And it's not unusual. Transformers is not the first film to do it. Dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of films will do it this year, as they do it every year. So it's really not a big deal. It's just that because of the ridiculous notion of it, Transformers and Best Picture, that people took that and kind of made it something bigger than it is, when really this is just business as usual. You guys have anything to add?
I'd love to see that hacked email chain when it's just a bunch of a bunch of emojis.
Which box should I click? Click all of them. LOL.
Yeah. We made so many billions of dollars. Let's just make double, triple the amount of flyers and send some posters too. Excellent. Let's make a 3D standee for your consideration.
Right,
Extra
April
money.
Fool's on the bottom.
Yeah, spend more money. That's all the notes are. Additional money for Transformers Your Consideration Award Ceremony. I can't believe it. Let's go get lunch. Your lunch on you. No lunch on Transformers.
Put a meme of Michael Bay giving the finger on the bottom.
And I actually got emails from a couple of people saying they heard that Paramount had actually, in their for your consider, and this was not true, but they had heard that in their for your consideration campaign, they actually listed Optimus Prime for Best Lead Actor.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And so if you have read that rumor going around, I can tell you definitively right now, no, Paramount did not do that.
Hey, that guy's a great actor in a bad film. Okay, he's doing everything he can.
Give him another chance.
All right, folks, well, that will do it for this installment of AMC Movie Talk. Thank you so much for joining us. Listen, don't forget, lots of great films playing in AMC theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for all your theater, showtime, and, of course, your movie ticket information. If you'd like an audio-only version of this episode, you can look in the description of this video, and you'll find a link to our podcast feed. And don't forget to click the thumbs up button on the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And before I forget, because I forgot at the beginning of the show, this Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, that's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're having a special live broadcast event for AMC Movie News celebrating our 100 million views that you guys have done for us. So thank you so much for that. Make sure you tune in for that event. I want to thank the guys sitting at the table with me. First of all, sitting to my left, Mr. Mark Ellis. Mark, where can people find you online?
Hey, Nebraskans, I'll be at the Omaha Funny Bone, December 18th through the 21st. Come on out and let's talk about the Casey Jones casting, 5150 Alice.
Sitting on my right, Mr. Christian Harloff. Christian, where can people find you?
I really want to talk about the Instagram account because a lot of fans have been asking about what books. Oh, your AMC Movie News for sure, but as far as mine, at Christian Harloff, a lot of people have been asking like what Star Wars books I'm reading, and so I post a lot of those pictures there. So at Christian Harloff, check it out.
Of course, the one and the only, Mr. John Schnepp.
Twitter, Instagram, just John Schnepp, TDOSLWH. I'll see you guys probably this Friday at the $100 million freak out. $100 million? Oh, wait, you're right. That's not $100 million. Sorry.
And our lovely host today, Miss Sinead DeFries. Sinead, where can people find you?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Sinead DeFries and at thatsosinead.com.
And to follow on top of the Instagram thing, don't forget, AMC Movie News now has an Instagram account. Follow us at AMC Movie News on Instagram. That's where you can find us. We post some short videos, some behind-the-scenes stuff there. Make sure you subscribe to us there. And you can find me on all the various social media networks, just at John Campea. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name is John Campea for AMC Movie News, and until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.